Welcome back, guys. In case you missed it, I'm your Wish. This is Knight. Welcome back, Knight. We've had a little bit of a break. Game one, done, done and done and done. I am tripping all over my words, Knight. This is not good. You'd think after 6 weeks of doing this, I'd actually be getting a little bit better. I feel like I'm getting worse. Anyway, game one. What do you think of it? Thoughts?
I liked it, but then there was a bug, and then I didn't like it. Very simple thought pattern. No. I thought it was fun. I mean, I was happy to see some unconventional picks. We mentioned Artanis to Ana. It was great. Funky Moon didn't tend to go for those pocket picks. They just went very staple meta. And, well, it shows that they could play it well. Unfortunately, there was that dilemma we had, but it's all good now, and we'll be heading into another match. It's going to be equally pleasing, in my opinion. It's going to be a fun game. Who do we watching play tonight now, you wish?
Well, for game two, we're going on to Braxis Holdout, and we get to see Pleb to Pro versus Crimson Academy. So, two teams that are, fighting for that second spot. They came both in at 13 points tonight. They both won their first games. I mean, every game for these teams is important. So, a head-to-head like this is got to be pretty stressful for both of these teams.
And it's going to be a really good one too. You've got two teams that have sister teams that are in the Premier Division, Crimson Academy and Pleb 2 Pro. If anything, that means the scrim level, the amount of information, the skill level as well, has to be top tier to a point. There will be better macro. They'll have to be aware of what is the next strategy, what to do, what not to do. And it's going to be quite, I think, a macro-intensive game. Would be interesting to see. Even if it's Braxis Holdout, the idea of how well can you use those Merc camps to your advantage comes into it. And I'm just going to see which team knows it better than the other. I've got to highlight, though, that Luke, unfortunately, won't be getting his Chromie. That is because Chromie being banned because of the rework. But are you feeling a Maev if they let it through the ban phase?
I mean, most definitely, especially with the changes that we saw mid-season to Braxis Holdout with the way the point has changed, holding the points changed, with that ability for Maev to pull people off, could be hugely impactful. And yeah, like you said, Luke can't use his Chromie. We've seen him on the Maev before and very, very effective on that hero, so it's definitely a pick. We're going to get straight into this draft and we're going to see what they're going to hit. So, I mean, as far as like you were saying, with Pleb to Pro Crimson Academy, they've got this tutoring or teaching from these premier teams. So these two teams that we can see very strong meta, this micro and their macro picks. So it should be a really, really good fight. Really interesting. Do you think, speaking of, I just said strong meta, do you think we're going to see, the possibility to see something like a Rexar?
I was actually thinking about it literally 5 seconds ago. I would love to see a Rexar, but I don't think any team will be willing to bust it out in this kind of do or die matchup, especially if you're fighting for such a high pick. They're going to ban out headache heroes. So Ural is a headache hero. The disruption she provides is just, you need to get it out of there. Genji's gone. Garrosh might be a contested ban. I mean, he's still a solid warrior. For what we saw, he can be quite a nuisance. Muradin, maybe we might see that kind of ban out. I doubt we're going to see something unconventional. Maybe a Raynor ban, because he's still strong. Good old Jimmy knows what to do. But Stitches, hello, that's a good one.
Yeah, an interesting ban from Crimson Academy on to Pleb to Pro. So yeah, that's an interesting pick. I don't know. I think if it is a do or die situation, but I think maybe in these games like Braxis Holdout, maybe not some of the more professional players' favorite maps. I think you throw a thing like a spanner into the works. We've seen internationally someone like Arthalon and Heroes Hearth in NA do incredible job on Rexar on Braxis Holdout. So I'm going to see. You had your Artanis and your Ana last game, so I've got my fingers crossed under the table for a Rexar. But everything else, with the wave clear from Gul'dan, banned out from Pleb to Pro. Gul'dan, a very underrated hero. He's always very impactful when he gets picked, but it's not something we always see. So that's a smart ban from Pleb to Pro's point of view.
You kind of need to build around Gul'dan to really get him to shine in a way. He can deal consistent damage. He can, in a way, self-sustain, but he has no real means of peeling for himself. Unless he gets horrified, but you kind of want to use the horrified to disorient the enemy team rather than just, oh crap, someone's on me, back off type thing. It can work that way, but you'd rather not waste a big heroic like that. Meanwhile, Pleb Tupo picking out Jaina and Johanna. Strong warrior, strong mage. She's got the wave clear as well to deal with the Zerg, and that's what we've got to look at into. We're not going to be able to see someone who doesn't have decent wave clear. And to match you with Rexar, I'm hoping for a Ragnaros. Just FYI, hidden Rag.
I can't argue with that. Rag would be good. That's something I don't think we've seen anything in at least any of the stream games this season. I don't believe we've seen a Ragnaros. And Braxis holdout, it's definitely something. A bit of that lava wave that can help with that clear. So yeah, I could get behind that. We're talking about wanting to see really strong meta picks, but I think some of these things maybe sometimes throw something a little bit strange in the mix. It's hard to when you're scrimming and stuff like that. You've got to be practicing all these sorts of things, and especially with the way the open division runs too, you don't necessarily know who you play. Well, you don't know who you're going to be playing against. You can assume, but you want to be scrimming those high characters, so it's hard to get strats and hide strats. But who knows? Picking up the Blaze, that's an interesting ban. Pleb to Pro going into the Euro and the Blaze ban, so really focusing on those solo laners.
Blaze does have some form of wave clear in his toolkit. Take him away as well. The bunker just out of the way. Instead, they're looking to get Sonya and Greymane very strong. Burst potential very strong. Just jump on and nuke someone. I think they want to target if they're going to go for Decade or Phoenix. Just blow them up before they can do anything. Greymane, his cocktail got buffed a few patches ago, so he still can do a bit of ranged wave clear. But is it enough to deal with the Zerg and be good at holding the point? But is it enough? And there we go. We've got Luke's Maiev coming through, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, like we said, we've seen him on the map. He's very strong. There's disruption. If he can get into that back line, getting towards that Jaina and put her in places she really doesn't want to be. I think Greymane probably going more that kill potential over the wave clear. Between the Sonya and the Jaina, I think Pleb to Pro should be okay with clearing the wave that they need. Greymane gives them that little bit of versatility, maybe, to go a little bit stronger, but interesting to see with the changes. And I know I said a spanner in the works. I wasn't thinking a small panda-shaped spanner.
Lily. Okay, let's think about it. What can Lily do? She's great at blinding people. Okay, Phoenix is out of the picture. Okay,
Maiev can't get her. She's going to struggle to land her grab with that blind. And you think you got the blind on the Johanna as well. So they're obviously going in for that kind of a blind disruption that they might have in that front line.
I would have loved them to see Cassia in that mix-up. The fact that she just excels when enemy teams are blinded, do extra damage. She kind of that lacks the wave clear, but if you've got, like I said, Jaina and Sonya, they'll be able to deal with themselves. But I'm interested to see if it then comes down to, can Luke bait out the blind? If he can get it out, then he doesn't have to use up his grab. Can use it on priority targets. But Lily, if she gets jumped on, if they time out her 1,000 jugs, forces that out, and then they just jump in and stun her, well, that's her ultimate gone on a cooldown. So it then comes down to the mind games, really, than you wish, which is something that's catching my eye.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Crimson Academy, do you want to... Who we got?
Crimson Academy, the red, we've got Morden playing Muradin, Luca playing his deadly Maiev, Pulse Croxley on the deck, and finally Matt Phoenix with Raven on Dehaka.
And Pleb to Pro in the blue, we've got Bob Goat on the Johanna, Horizon on the Greymane, Suze on that Sonya, Lorne on the Lily, and Rykos on that Jaina.
I feel like the early level, if they're trying to do something instead of getting a pause, so yes, in the early level, a pause is very strategically well placed because now you're very in the minds of the enemy team. They don't know what's happening. I thought I'd just take a crack at that. That was funny.
Just bear with us. It's, it's ANZ opens. It's a couple of weeks ago. If we didn't have weird issues and observer menus on the stream, it wouldn't be ANZ. So,
Well, that was fun. That was fun while it lasted. But now we're back into it. And what I was trying to get at is, I feel like this level 1 early, or this early kind of dance they do down in bottom lane, you got the 4 members, it can do anything, because look, now Luke already jumping on, but the blind does keep someone alive. Lorne, can he get away? The sustain is real. Jane is doing a lot of damage. Morton's forced to back away. And just Luke is throwing his fan of knives consistently, and that's what we're going to see when you've got 3 members who are going to be up in your face. It's that consistent Q coming out from Luke.
yeah, for sure. And, seeing the ability with Lily too, not with her trait, the fast feet, able to get away too, even if she does get caught in that blind. So get caught in not the blind, the Maeve, really giving their ability to get back out again quickly. Interesting, we're seeing, there's the same in the last game too. We're seeing, I saw Muradin on the Morton, Morton on the Muradin even, going into that third wind instead of the perfect storm. So, going for that survivability, which is really important in Brax's holdout, the ability to hold that point at the advantage is of that trait a little bit more than normal.
And as we were speaking about early back in before pick and ban phase, these teams, they being trained with and the coaching styles of those teams they get from the Premier team. Pleb already secured themselves the siege camp. They're going to be pushing and applying pressure down in this bottom lane. Allows them to secure the point, the beacons, and get at least some charge, 14% for themselves. But now we're going in towards the fight. Morton forcing himself onto the point. Can he do something? Bob Goat taking a bit of face smacks to the face, but not going to do much. They're going to walk away. They keep an eye for Jaina. He can drop down the damage in no time, but he's out of position. In fact, Morton's jumping onto his mat as well. With the Phoenix, he's so low. But Luke, been blinded. He's looking for the kill. Can he get it? Launch trying to sustain his teammates alive, but they're going to back away, and Crimson Academy just walk up and secure the beacon for themselves.
Yeah, and it's worth noting Raven doing a fantastic job in that top lane. On that Dahaka into that Sonya, he's keeping her pressured. She was able to get that point initially to begin with, but he's, forced her off. So he's just been able to get that back on now, so slowing down that capture rate from from Crimson Academy, Morton and his team. But they got that Lily.
Yeah, jumping onto her, she has no blink or mobility apart from just running faster, so an easy route from Pulse Croxley. You get the kill. That's gonna give them a bit of advantage in this bottom lane. Forces everyone from Pleb to be careful. They don't have that sustain, except for when they just tap, but it's not enough. And now the point, the beacon's secured. It's building up 40%. It's getting there. But in top lane, just a simple warrior on warrior Suze. And now Horizon hopping onto Raven. He's dropping low. Can he get away? He'll back up, but Horizon will secure this beacon for his team.
Yeah, Pleb Pro making the sense, getting that rotation with the Grey Mane up, but then while they were doing that, then Bob Goat, unfortunately, that Johanna fell in the bottom lane. So, it's really kind of blow for blow at the moment. Crimson Academy getting those first couple of kills, getting that slight lead in experience. Now they're getting these rotations, getting these camps, but it's proving to be the close game that we were hoping it would be, at least at this point.
This beacon phase with the changes does extend how long it is, but now Jaina gets pulled in. He's going to get followed by the Decker Cane route, so he falls down. That's one member down, and that's what Crimson Academy are looking for. If they can get the right positional advantage into these fights, Luke on the Maeve, he's deadly. We saw that last week when they're taking on Wheeler School for this, and now they're forcing a push down into his bottom lane, taking a bit of the damage onto the structure. The beacon is still there. The Harker will secure the top one. And now it's just a time game. Can Pleb 2 Pro at least clear the minions enough to get back onto the beacon, or will they fall? Bobgo has to back away, pops the iron skin, he's low. Horizon gets pulled in, but Luke has to back away as cavalry has arrived in the likes of Lorne.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't think we're taking into account, we've got Luke on that Maeve, but we've also got that Deckard, with his scrolls, his slow, and his route. He can really they can stack up these movement hindering abilities and really slow Pleb to Pro down.
Oh man, the fan of knives. When you're grouped up like that, it's just easy pickings. Will be secured the kill up to Jaina. That goes in, trying to get another little pesky lawn on the Lily. But now they're set to start up again on the beacons. This is 78% to 14. Top beacon was resecured by Suz. So that's a little back and forth. So he's delaying the inevitable of trying to get it. But Luke again follows up, followed by the root. Lily falls, and that's another member down, and that's 4 kills to nothing. And Luke is just having a glorious time on that Maya.
Yeah, Pleb to Pro, they hit that 7, so they probably think, they're in a good spot. They'd be able to get back onto that talent, but Crimson Academy just pushed straight in, quickly get that kill. They're really showing this team fight ability that they have, and now with Luke making that rotation up into the top lane, they're going to definitely secure this, and they get that 100% beacon. That's 5 kills later.
Unless Bob Goat has something to say about it. But going into it, we've got to pay attention. The Grey main talent picks is going for that auto attack orientated talents where eventually it just bleeds into the back line. Jaina gets pulled again, and Morden just jumps on. He sees the scroll, he sees the root coming through. He's like, yep, prime pickings for himself. Now he has to back away slowly. Horizon sensing kill. What can they do? Bob Goat, they're pushing. They do have the lights of the Zerg at least helping him in his bottom lane, but meanwhile on top lane, the Haka is going to be pushing the massive Zerg run with himself.
Yeah, and just a couple more structures, and Crimson Academy is going to be hitting their 10. So Pleb to Pro really is going to have to be careful now that they're just going to slowly bleed out this game.
We're going in towards a 10 talent here now. We're seeing what the heroics being picked up by Crimson Academy. We've got Warden's Cage, that's a staple. Stay a while and listen. Despite Lornado kind of getting, I guess, a buff in a way with Stay a While, Listen getting nerfed, and that being favorably picked up, has its tricks and whatnot. Still going for that. The salvo as well, so that's a big lock down everybody in this really tight place, and it works well because with beacons and Braxis hold out, everyone needs to fight on those beacons. You can't allow that to be really captured and really picked up by the team. And Crimson Academy picking the heroics to counteract with that. And now they're rotating up to top lane.
Yeah, Pleb to Pro, we're trying to make the most. Had some vision of Crimson in the bottom lane, trying to push to get that fort. Fortunately, they couldn't get it down. Trying to get their 10s now, they're just going to have to play it safe. And you're right, with the abilities that Crimson Academy have picked, the Starwire and Listen into the salvo, they're really going to be able to just lock those points down. And if they can quickly, they've already quickly been getting these kills, haven't they? And I'm getting a little bit scared for Pleb to Pro that that's just going to keep happening now that 10s are online.
Now they've got their 10s. Kind of looking for back. They got the Jugs. That's no surprise. Wrath of the Berserker. Also go for the throat. If he can get a blow-up kill on the right target straight away, and it's looking towards at least Luke, because Luke's fan of knives, it really works well against a triple warrior, triple frontline melee team. It resets very quickly. Morden, I would like to have seen at least, Bullet to at least chug down Morden very quickly. Because we don't have the likes of Rhaegar or Alex Strasser with the Lifebinder and Ancestral Healing to resustain him straight away. But now it's up to what can they do. Next beacon phase is coming up. Both teams rotating towards get the Merc camps, and it was smart play by Crimson as well, taking the enemy team's camps first.
Yeah, that's it. Painting the map red. That's what we like to see. If you've got that lead, you can continue to just push that lead further and further ahead. The beacon's coming in. Your Pleb to Pros have got a little bit of time before Crimson hit 13. They're going to make it a little bit harder by getting this fort in the top lane, taking that relatively easily. And Sue's getting fought out.
We got the salvo coming out through as well. Water Cage, everyone's locked up in place, and that is what we're talking about, the level 10 talents. But can they out-sustain it? Also dropping members, Maya falls, but 3 of the members are so low. That's a double kill coming out from Morden as he hammers down, brings down 2 for himself. That's a 4-for-2 exchange in the favor of Crimson Academy, but Matt is looking to make it a 5-for-2 exchange. Can Horizon get away? No, he falls! And that is going to be a free beacon phase as well for Crimson Academy.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate timing. They're going to get a fair chunk, if not all of this beacon, just at 100%. Plus now they've got the 13, they've got that 2-level advantage. It's definitely just things are looking more and more dire for Pleb to Pro.
It was just a very unfavorable matchup. They were caught, Pleb were caught in the middle of rotating up towards top lane to at least defend the top 4, and that also Raven was waiting in the bush, got the nice drag onto Sewers, and that started everything. They're stuck in this really tight space. Of course, Warden's Cage, stay a while, listen, got the salvo. That's what their heroics are all built around. And now Crimson Academy, they got their sides up onto Lorne. Can he get away? Blessed Shoe comes out to try and keep him alive. Jugs, he's sustaining, he's living. Sewers down to half health, gets dragged, gets popped. And it's going to be one member down in the favor for Crimson Academy yet again.
Really just showing the advantage of this displacement comp that Crimson Academy have. There's just, if you get caught in that drag, you get caught in Maev's, you just can't get away. They've just got a complete lockdown, and they're going to get the 100% Zerg wave, and they're going to go for the boss at the same time. Now, if they can look at getting a kill or two, these Crimson Academy is going to be looking at maybe pushing the game out.
And what's going to be great is that boss is just going to deal with the top Zerg wave. Well, not really. It kind of misses it, but it's going to apply the pressure. So now they're going to have 2 lanes pushing. As it's going to work with the Zerg, they can definitely play up for that keep. They get a pull onto Bob Go. Didn't have an Iron Skin, so he falls. That's the main warrior down. Pleb to Pro, and as well as the keep walls dropping, towers dropping. They're getting their sides up, they're pushing up. Morden hops in, lands a double stun. There's a salvo as well, so Lorne and Jane are going to drop. Meanwhile, in return, Source, can he get anything? The Ring of Frost help Horizon. He's looking for the kill, but the sustain from Pulse Croxy keeps them alive. And that is a 5-for-none exchange, and potentially game as well.
Yeah, that I said if they got a kill or two, they'd be looking at game. I was expecting them to get all 5. That's, you know, Crimson Academy coming out strong. We've just seen them, whatever it is that they're getting taught by this Premier League team, they're just showing really, really strong, putting themselves in such a good position for that second spot, for that Crucible.
They come up from last week, a 4-0 victory. They come into this week 2-0 so far, and they're looking very, very dangerous. It wouldn't be surprised if they really want to, I guess, if they could contend. Granted, we let's go for this, secure the top first spot, but Crimson Academy are making it look like that they deserve to be in the top first spot, actually, from just the way they've been performing the past few weeks. And that was an incredible match. Very one-sided. They out-rotated. They got the camps. They painted the map red. And they just demolished when it came to team fights. They had nothing against them. Yeah,
there was those blinds from Lily and the blinds from Johanna. They just couldn't do enough. There was just too many other answers to get that displacement. And like you said, it'd be interesting, you know, if Crimson Academy had been able to get started from week 1, how close they would be to Relay School for this. The showings that they've had, they've proved to be really, really strong. So that's game 2 done, guys. What we're going to do, we're going to make sure everyone else is finished. That was a pretty quick game. It was 12 minutes and 45 seconds. So I might have just a little bit of a wait for some of these other teams to finish, but we'll go to a bit of a break and we will see you guys soon.